What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 AI only old world battle. We jump straight back in where we left off with some big wars that could shake up the course of the game. We have a big one, of course, between Egypt and Nubia. I mean, this is going to be really interesting just because there's 3 different points for Egypt to sort of fight on. Also, Congo have great war infantry. Okay, that's just interesting development there. That no, I don't think anyone else does apart from Korea. We of course have Rome versus Byzantium. I think they had some help from Poland, but Poland's probably not going to get over here because Wallachia is just in the way. Oh yeah, sorry, it's right there. I don't know why I made that seem like a good memory or anything. My bad. And Korea just out of nowhere took this city in like a turn or so. I don't think they'll have as much luck with the other one because it's not coastal. But we'll see. Korea's certainly putting in a good effort, and if they get some artillery landed on this side, then yeah, that could shake things up. And that definitely, probably, you never know, but I think that probably saves Delhi for now, I would say. But yeah, Korea is going to have a difficult early time defending this just because of lack of land units. But once these battleships arrive off the coast, they'll be able to start pounding some of those Siamese units with damage. Nubia goes freedom as well, by the way, to join with Morocco. So maybe there is going to be a bit of a freedom wave, and that's a big one. Wallachia joining against Byzantium. That's probably the help Rome needs just to make things awkward. It gives Byzantium nowhere to turn to. There's going to be just more units now soaking up Byzantine fire. Although saying that, like these Galeuses, they're pretty safe, right? I mean, this one is going to be bombarded by the city, but in the other 4 positions, and I'm not sure this one can shoot, but these ones can help at the very least. So yeah, we will try and focus on all these wars. I'll probably try and sit here just for sort of the camera. Obviously we'll keep going over to Korea, but here we can sort of see 2 in 1. Get another ideology. Germany, how the heck did you get an ideology so quick? It must be just where coal. I think coal is the limiting factor here. But yeah, I think that's mostly so 2 order, 2 freedom, and they are struggling. But even every single type has got some sort of dissidence, so there's no clear choice. Rome is struggling with it themselves, which is quite interesting because Europeans are autocrats and the rest of the world have gone non-autocracy. Which is pretty weird. That is actually right. Oh my goodness, yeah. 4 European civs autocracy and the rest have gone the other. So I don't know why Rome is negative. That doesn't really make sense to me. But I know it's a lot more complex than I'm imagining it to be. But I'm thinking if you're nearby a load of civs with the same one and there's 4 of you, you should be okay. But obviously not. We'll see. It is down to tourism as well. I don't know. Did someone have like a off-the-charts kind of number in there? Maybe? We'll have a look if it loads up again. I mean, 24. I mean, most of the biggest civs for culture haven't even picked yet, so that could really throw things up in the air. But no, I don't think there was any particularly wild ones in there. I mean, 24, 38, 24. That's those different. But this adds up to more than 38. Not doing the maths, but 2 of them added up to 34. So obviously more. So that's just really weird that Rome is struggling with that. Burundi and Harappa piecing out as well. Still, Poland hasn't settled, by the way. They're just being very, very selective. They've obviously got their minds on some spots, and they're going to walk there. They don't care. Yeah, Korea now has some artillery. Obviously, this is getting melee attacked, but with battleships helping as well, I think they should be able to hold on to this territory now, although that artillery promptly died. But yeah, they took this pretty quickly with pure naval power, so I'm not saying it's impossible that they can get this one too, but it's going to be a bit harder just because it's not on the coast. But if they clear everything out, bring in loads of battleships here, then they only need 1 melee unit to sneak in. Nubia doesn't have enough on their plate already. They are going to use their boats. That I guess that's fine because the boats wouldn't fight Egypt anyway, because Egypt is, they have a coast, but it's, you know, nowhere near their cities. So yeah, this just gets worse for Byzantium because now Nubia will probably take these boats out here, which will either, yeah, will probably clear the path for some of those Roman Galeuses to actually get out. They're kind of sort of stuck in a long line up the Adriatic Sea at the moment. But if Nubia starts doing some of the work for them, that could be good. But so far it's been okay for Byzantium. But once those units, you know, once they get down on those units and Rome can start to move in all their cannons, things can change. You never know as well. Rome is at that sort of point where they might get artillery at some point in this war. Like, you'll just see the upgrade happen, and that would be rough. Some more ideologies. Russia going autocracy, continuing the trend. Mongolia, the first non-European civ, non-capital in Europe, we'll say, because Russia is kind of spanning both. But yeah, you go, not going with freedom or order, as Poland does grab a city right in the middle of North America here for themselves. Bit of land. They also have another settler right at the top here. I'll see where that ends up. But yeah, France, Congo, Germany starting to grow their cities. Mexico and Central America still very much untouched. I haven't seen, there's another French settler on the way, but no one else particularly aggressive with the settling. Oh, Ethiopia arrived at some point, so there we go. I told you someone was going to cross over. I thought it might be Mali or someone who just does it in like 2 turns. But there you go, Ethiopia grabs a bit of Brazil as well, and declares war on Arabia with Harappa. That could get interesting too. I was a bit worried the game was fizzling out last episode, and then it's just exploded into life, which is fantastic. But yeah, this could be big if I feel like you get that. They react to each other, so if everyone's being peaceful, no one wants to make the first move. We saw Siam attack India, and everyone declared war on Siam. So I think that's kind of why. And now, you know, Ethiopia knows Nubia's busy. They're kind of safe from the other civs, so it's a good time to go after Arabia. And same for Harappa. They know Siam, India, Korea all busy doing their own thing, so that's a really smart move to team up, I think, and try that. I'm not sure if it'll work, but we'll see. Egypt pieces out with Byzantium. And also, I mean, just worth noting, if Rome was to grab the Greek city here, which is still a long way from happening at the moment, but you never know, these civs can just turn it on. We saw Korea do that, just grab a city out of nowhere. Rome could probably do the same. As soon as I look away for like 2 turns, I'll get it done. But they will then border Russia, which at the moment isn't too important, but in the modern era, like getting further forward, planes and everything, that could be missiles. You know, that becomes very interesting, to say the least. There's a lot of units here. Poland, Germany and Wallachia. It would be cool if one of them like just unified these 5 cities at the very least. It would look pretty gross on the borders, I'm not going to lie, just sort of curved around Rome. But if Poland was to get this, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, that's probably the most likely outcome. Maybe Poland probably getting Berlin and then getting Wallachia afterwards, something like that. But it'd be kind of cool just to see a big sort of nation here that could stand in between Russia and Rome. I don't know if we'll get that, as Russia is starting to line up on its western border, but it's not clear who. I mean, that could be Poland, Wallachia, or the Ottomans. But they are starting to gather here, less spread out. Great war infantry, Cossacks, cannons. Maybe just preparing something. For some reason I saw like a giant death robot there in my head. I was like, nope, that can't be right. I must be seeing things. You know, Rome is beginning that siege. Korea has held on, and they are beginning a siege in the north as well. That's a plane. There's a great war bomber. There's regular infantry and artillery. Yeah, Siam is not built to handle this, and this should go pretty quickly now for Korea. There's no defending units. And that will be another one, and probably a slightly less border-gory addition to the Korea Empire than this one. We're probably going to have to live with that, because it looks like they're friends with India. But we'll see what happens to Sukhote here. Of course, eventually, I mean, Korea's putting in all the work, but India has the land units. I mean, they could probably go for it eventually. We'll get to that point. Persia and France have pieced out. Oh, there's cities in Australia. When did that happen? I don't know. The Zulu are here, and they're 3 pops, so they've been here a while, and another one. And India also got a northern part of Australia, so that's the thing. And Harappa is now sending out another settler. We'll see if that goes again to be added to their existing one in North America, or towards Indonesia or Australia. Hawaii looks pretty good. Korea's scouting it out by the look of it. Imagine if they had all these boats helping out as well. That would be interesting. Right, Rome, how are you doing when I come back? Not too well, but you are starving the city, I've noticed. Egypt and Nubia, this is a pretty brutal one, but no cities really under threat. I mean, the Great Wall doesn't help, I don't think. Looks like neither of them have artillery. Maybe Nubia has the tech, but that doesn't matter because it's them. But Egypt probably doesn't, so that means the wall is still effective. But then Nubia's not exactly crushing Egypt here. I mean, this city's in a really awkward spot. This one's next to a mountain. And throwing everything at Thebes is probably the best idea, but it's obviously the most heavily defended. Arabia is beginning to be attacked. Again, this is not really assisted by many ships. I thought Ethiopia would have had maybe some more, and Harappa. They're still on galleasses. I think no frigates. Is that a lack of iron? Yeah. So maybe Arabia will be safe for now. But once you get planes again, that should not be an issue so much. If they have oil, of course. Big if. Those Korean units, yeah, I think Russia definitely said, let them over here, and then said, no, you're not going back though. That's pretty brutal. They're just sort of lost units, walking around the map, trying to find a way home. Nubia is now embargoed too, which sucks for them. I mean, especially, trading out of here is fun. I know it doesn't sound like it makes a huge impact. I think it impacts everyone actually. I think because it allows cities like this one to have a cargo ship route down to here. It does actually make an impact. So it's kind of cool from when I've played, if I remember correctly, which obviously you wouldn't be able to normally do. So that's kind of cool. France and Arabia join the Byzantium War. They should be fine, but yeah, Rome starting to slowly snake around. Russia now against Byzantium again. I mean, it's a bit risky. You could lose this. And Korea, oh, they took this city finally in the north, and now they have some land units coming in as well. They may end up getting Sukhothai as well, and then they will be the powerhouse in Asia with a bit of border gore with India. I mean, if they're smart and mean and, you know, don't mind being the bully. Do they have one? They don't have a great general, but you could always put down a citadel like here and connect. I'm just saying. Okay, that's not so good news for Egypt. Morocco and Congo. Now, Morocco do not border them. Just need to check. Congo don't, but they could definitely get open borders through Nubia. And Congo have planes as well, so Congo is doing much better than I thought. And they have a lot of planes. They have 11. That is more than Korea. I really want to look. It's 11 minutes. I think next episode we'll look at the info addicts. Regardless, we'll just say start of next one. Things are getting really interesting. I would love to know who's doing well. But I didn't want to, like, you know, it just show us that someone's going to win by a mile and then it gets kind of boring. But it doesn't feel like it's going to be like that. Still so much to happen as Germany and India declare war on Persia. Okay, I'm not really sure that will have any impact. Ottomans versus Egypt and Ethiopia. Again, Ethiopia could probably get open borders if they want, but they're kind of preoccupied. Ottomans, again, sort of dependent on Nubia being in the way there. I don't really know what the Ottomans can do, to be honest. Babylon is the war. Like, if you were a human playing as the Ottomans, I feel like you'd just stack up and, you know, you'd go at Babylon, and if you fail, that's it, you'd give up, because I don't really know there are other options. You were sort of waiting. You know, this AI is just sort of, they're preparing for all options, and they're kind of waiting. The only other one is to sneak in and try to get Constantinople, because, yeah, Russia's just getting stronger at a quicker rate than you. You need to do something soon. I think taking Babylon would have been a good move, and then you free yourself to go after Arabia, whatever. But yeah, we'll get Constantinople, but it's not really worked out. Poor Ottomans. I mean, they've not done great, but they've done better. There was a point where I was worried for them, and they've done better than that. But Nubia pieces out with Egypt. No cities changing hands, so now Egypt will just sort of awkwardly be at war with a load of other neighbouring countries, and Nubia will stay out of that one. Another ideology, India now going for autocracy. Poland did put down another settler, and France just put one down just next to Congo as well. That Harappan settler is heading... no idea. Oh, for Australia as well, where there's 3 cities now. So there we go. We're getting more and more of a view of what the world's going to look like. South America still remains fairly untouched. Just this northeastern portion, which Portugal have definitely got some resources out of. And there it is, Nubia. Oh my goodness, sneaking in and taking... Rome did most of the work, but it's a Nubian caravel that takes control of Greece, adding to the border gore surrounding Nubia in this region, and Russia being there as well. It's just a complete mess. But there we go. And Rome now will be forced with Wallachia to sort of pile into Constantinople for, I imagine, will not go too well without the Ottomans joining in from the east. But if they were to join in, that would be a great time. Those frigates would come in useful. That cannon on the border, that could weaken them up, and then it's just it's a game of luck, isn't it? One of them will get it. Rome goes straight after Babylon, which does not matter. They are not particularly close, but it might tempt someone else to. And there it is. Siam is dumped out of the game. Korea taking control of Sukhothai. So Siam, we have to thank them. They got the game going. It was a bit of a calm period where it felt like no one wanted to make the first move. Siam did it, and they died. So, but we've got loads going on now. So it was worth it, Siam. It was worth it in the long run, but that's an interesting move from Korea. I know we've got a few more wars against Babylon. I see Zulu in there. Not particularly that Zulu will make a difference. Nubia also completes the Statue of Liberty while they were fighting a war. It does look like Ethiopia is going to take this. I don't see them holding it because Arabia's army is pretty much untouched in their territory, but Ethiopia is going to get this, which is at least a sign, I think. And obviously if they do get it, that's going to pull in resources that may leave the door open for Damascus to fall to Harappa, although Harappa's kind of backed off at the moment and then declared war on Babylon themselves, which just means more units to deal with potentially in the region. You know, do what you want. What is going on in Western Europe? These guys just aren't interested, aren't they? Portugal, France, Rome. Well, Rome is interested, but the middle of the map's like chaotic, and then here's just very calm. It's quite a reverse from the start of the game, where Africa in particular was more peaceful, and Sub-Saharan still is. Probably doesn't help the Zulu that they are now weaker than the Congo, at least in tech. It's almost like they've just put, look at this, they don't even have their army here, it's over here. They're like, yeah, we got these planes, you don't have those. You could try it if you want. Even though it looks like they have more on the border. Babylon and Ethiopia peace out. Medina is still under siege. There are some civs that definitely could add to the chaos. Russia could certainly make a move. They don't seem too interested. They kind of spread out again. It looked like they were going to, but I don't really know. I mean, the Ottomans is the target, right? That's the one that they should go for. I think Wallachia, it's just too much of a bloodbath to get through 2 tiles, a river crossing. The city will just be here pounding you. Even if you get through that, it's almost impossible then to get to this one without planes. Poland would be like, I mean, it wouldn't be the wrong decision, but it would be more of a commitment. It would take a lot more to get what you want of Poland, and you'd have to fight on multiple fronts. Which, I mean, Poland does too, so it's not a disaster, but, you know, it's not easy. I mean, there's easier pick. The thing is, if you go for the easy ones, it's not really going to change the game. Like, taking this off Persia, it's not going to win you the game. But yeah, the Ottomans, these 2 cities, maybe access to the Black Sea, could be pretty useful. I mean, if you get to Istanbul, then from there you really expand your options almost, you know, to whatever you want. So we'll see what they do. I do see them trading there, though, with the Ottomans. And we know they have the biggest economy, so we'll see. But Korea completes the Manhattan Project well ahead of everyone else at this point in time. They have submarines. That is definitely, that's a huge advantage in any wars they wish to wage. But because they're so far ahead, it's an advantage, but only for so long. You know, we will probably, assuming my PC, you know, holds up, there's not as many civs as we normally have in this game. There's only 30 or so, and a few of them are dead. The New World's mostly empty and not as full as it might be on some other games. This game will probably run a bit further than usual, and we'll probably see lots of civs hit the upper limit of technology. Hopefully, I don't want to overpromise, but, you know, hopefully we'll get quite far, particularly once I do highlights as well, instead of just following what's going on every turn. At the moment, it's fine. There's plenty going on, but if, you know, we'll get a point like turn 300, it'll probably start just being too slow. There'll be times when nothing's going on for 20 minutes, so we will sort of, I'll just show you progressions of maybe 25, 50 turns, whatever. We'll see how it goes, and yeah, we'll just try and get as much out of it as we can. It looks like, yeah, France grabs Cuba, another city there. I don't see any other settlers just yet. Harappa has not quite reached Australia yet. Korea completes Broadway, and Ethiopia so close. Wait, aren't the Ottomans in this war? No, they're not. I was going to say, if they are, they could get this, but I don't think they are. And even if they got it, it wouldn't change too much. Oh, some of the borders are just such a mess. Like, if the Ottomans still had this city, I think they could have conquered Arabia, but because they don't, through one tile, it's just not going to happen, is it? Like, I'm not deluded to the capabilities of the AI, I'm afraid. I know that seems pretty unlikely that they're going to get that done. But yeah, next episode I think we have to do the info addicts. I'm so curious. I know we didn't do them at 200, so I think, you know, doing it a bit earlier than 250 is fine. I'm just really curious, because seeing the Congo as arguably the 2nd most technologically advanced nation in the world just came out of nowhere. I mean, they're doing fine, but they weren't one of the big, I kind of think of it as like a big 3, Korea, Russia, Rome, who do seem to be pretty dominant. I don't know what the demographics are showing at this point in time, but that was definitely a blow to Rome to not get that Greek city. So Russia still topping those three. Rome topping production, but they've been overtaken by the Congo in total military size. Now that's not a disaster. Rome's been at war, and planes probably count for like a bigger number at a higher tech level as well than Rome. So it's not a disaster, but yeah, all of a sudden Rome is not looking like such a guaranteed winner, even though they are huge still. I think they do seem the biggest. I know Korea's pretty big now, Russia's grown a lot, but maybe it's because Europe's like expanded, but like Rome just seems pretty big, but from how they started at least. But they're just not really progressing. I mean, Portugal's pretty hard to invade because there's a huge gap between border and cities. I think that's something we should look at more in these games, because where there's a big gap between the cities and the border, the AI does struggle. Like here, both ways, here's not particularly bad, but you know, here there's quite a big gap, and that really just throws the AI a bit. I think they love the surprise attack. You know, they're one tile away and then boom, declare war. They love that, but it doesn't work so well when there's that huge gap. But that will be it for this episode. Europa did finally put down their settler, if anyone was wondering, but that is it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. We will take a look at the info addicts at the start of the next one, just to sort of see where we're at as we enter the modern era, the late stages of the game. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.